Hey guys, Mr. Middleton here. Today we're going to talk about naming polynomials. At the end of this video, you should be able to name polynomials by degree and by number of terms. And you should also be able to put a polynomial in standard form. Okay, the prefix poly means many. Many. And nomial means names or terms. Okay, and that's where our polynomial comes from. So polynomial means many terms. Alright. Terms are separated by addition or subtraction. Okay, that's how we can tell if there's one term, two terms. When it's separated by an addition sign or subtraction sign, we know that's a new term. So here's some polynomials. We have x squared plus 4x plus 5. Let's see, 2pq plus 4p. Polynomials there, and also 8. That's a polynomial. Okay, and so today we're going to look at how we can identify these different polynomials. Okay, I'm going to say p cubed. Doesn't change it, but at least I have a cube there. Alright, so what do the following polynomials have in common? We have 5x plus 2, 6x to the 4th minus 3x squared, x cubed minus 8, 7x to the 6th plus 4x squared. If you notice in each of these, well, let's say, these are binomials. These are called binomials. And you'll notice that in each of these there are two terms. They're called binomials because they have two terms. Bicycle, bipolar, binoculars, 2. Okay? What do the following polygons have in common? 2x cubed minus 6x plus 7. All these, notice that they have 3 terms. They are called trinomials. Because they have 3 terms. Tricycle, triangle, tripod. Tri means 3. Okay? 8a to the 4th, 7, 12w squared, into the 7th. Okay, there's no addition, no subtraction in these. There's only what we call these monomials. Monomials. Okay, mono meaning one, monopoly, monocle, monogamy. Okay. So this is all these polynomials 1 through 3 are classified by number of terms. Okay, and there can be polynomials with more than 3 terms. But if that happens, then we'll just call it like a 4-term polynomial or a 5-term polynomial. Okay, so if that does happen, I'm not going to require that you remember those specific names. Okay, so mono, binomial, trinomials, those are the 3 names that you should be able to 3 ways you should be able to classify a polynomial based off of the number of terms it has. Okay, now just looked at classifying a polynomial based off the number of terms. We'll also classify polynomials based off of its degree. So 8x minus 5, 6z, 3 minus 9b, 2/3 k. Notice that these have different number of terms, but these are called linear because the largest exponent on a variable, really important to realize that we're talking about the exponent on a variable, not just exponent, is 1. Okay, remember from our last chapter that when there's no exponent written, it's because there's an assumption that there's understanding that exponent is 1. Okay, so if the exponent is 1, this is a linear polynomial. as we look at the fifth set of polynomials. 7t squared, 11 plus d squared, 2p minus 4p squared, 3m squared plus 2m minus 15. These are called quadratic because the largest exponent on a variable is 2. Okay, and we'll take a chapter where we really look into quadratics a whole lot later in this year. Number 6, these have in common that the highest exponent is 3. These are called cubic because the largest exponent in the variable is 3. And then notice here, guys, that you don't see any variables around. These are called constant. Constant. That's really got away from me. Because the largest exponent on a variable is 0. If you remember from last chapter, we did something like x to the 0. Well, that would just be 1. So 8 times 1 would be 8. So we wouldn't really need to write that. Okay? So all these polynomials in 4 through 7 are classified by degree. Which is a polynomial's largest exponent on the variable. So you'll be required to know how to classify a polynomial based off of the number of terms and also its degree. Alright, so here we go. It says name each by degree and number of terms. So we have 5x squared plus 4x minus 8. Its degree, highest exponent is 2. And so that is a quadratic. Its number of terms, there are 1, 2, 3 terms. So that means it's a trinomial. Okay, so pretty straightforward. You can reference what we have in our notes to name those. In fact, bring 2 and 3 here, classifying it by the degree and the number of terms. Bring it to class so I can check it. Alright, next, when we write polynomials, we'll want to write it in standard form. Okay? And to write a polynomial in standard form, you write the terms in order from greatest exponent or highest exponent to lowest exponent. Okay? And before you have it in standard form, you must combine like terms. Like terms have the same variable and same exponent. But can have different coefficients. Okay. So here it says to write each in standard form, then name the polynomial in 2 ways based off its degree and number of terms. So number 1, we have 5x squared minus 2x cubed. Standard form, remember, we write the highest exponent down to the lowest exponent. So what we'll do for this is we'll say, okay, this 3 is the highest exponent. So I have to write this term first. Remember or realize that the sign in front of the term goes with it wherever it goes. This is negative 2x cubed. So although we write it first, we need to make sure we keep that minus in front of it. 5x squared will go next. It's positive, so we have positive 5x squared. Based off of its degree, we'd call this a cubic, because the highest exponent is 3. Binomial, because there are 2 terms. Number 2, doing the same thing. First, we want to make sure we look for like terms, and here we do have like terms, 4z and 3z. Put those together, that's 7z. Positive 7z. Okay, and then as we look, we see that we have a positive 7z squared minus 5 and positive 7z. Just a reminder that 7z and 7z squared are not like terms because they have a different exponent. So now we'll order it from greatest exponent. 7z squared, down to the next greatest, 7z, down to the next, minus 5. And now as we name this, our highest exponent is 2, so we'll call it a quadratic. There are 1, 2, 3 terms, so we call it a quadratic trinomial. Alright, try that out for number 3. Remember, combine like terms, order from highest exponent down to lowest exponent, and then name the polynomial based off of its degree and number of terms. Alright, so there you have it, guys. A warning for this section, whenever we talk about vocabulary, know that writing it down is not enough for you to be able to remember it. And when you have to remember something, it's better to be able to recall it from your own mind without having to reference the notes again. So make sure you look at it enough, get it down in your mind so that you can say, okay, 1, highest degree is 1, it's linear. Highest degree is 2, is quadratic. Highest degree is 3, is cubic. Okay? 2 terms binomial, 3 terms trinomial, 1 term monomial. Alright, see ya.